Okay, guys, I know you just have spent some time looking at a presentation, how this works. And I know many of you are just trying to figure out, okay, I kind of understand, I don't understand, I got some questions. What I want to do is I just want to spend just a handful of minutes here with you to help you understand what's important. If you were going to make this work, I'm talking to the person that has looked at this information and says, I'd like to create income, I'd like to do it very, very quickly, and I want to do it creating a team of people. We have lots of ways that you can create income, but I'm going to be very specific on exactly what you would need to do. I've been very, very blessed to be part of this idea in this company. My life is completely different from what it was. 5 years ago when I saw this information, I was so broke I couldn't pay attention. I had no time. I owned 2 different businesses that took all my time from early in the morning till late at night. The pressure was unbelievable because I knew how much I had to make. Being an entrepreneur my entire life, that's kind of what the entrepreneur, there's no money that automatically shows up. Whatever shows up is what I was going to do. All right. And so I knew there was huge amounts. So when I saw this information, I got very focused on having a way to create some money that automatically showed up that I didn't have to get, and that's the residual income. I know many of you looked at that. You were very intrigued about it. All right. Well, the reason I developed this idea is because I thought that I could create something for my family, and it could give me options that I could have money that would flow in my account when I did whatever I wanted to do. That's what attracted me to this idea. And I don't know if that's what you see when you look at this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a few basic steps, and these are the things that you need to understand to get started and know, okay? The first thing, if you're writing these down, there's only 4 that I'm going to talk about, all right? The first thing that I want you to understand is the key to the success of this idea is all about duplication. How fast can the information that you saw, how fast can you communicate that with somebody else? You just watched a presentation. Somebody pushed a button, all right, and you simply saw a DVD play. Or maybe you watched this on a website. I don't know. But you saw the same kind of presentation. I want you to understand, if you know how to push play, that can duplicate. If you're doing the presentations yourself, that doesn't duplicate. See, you have to understand, if you show your friend and your friend wants to go home and talk to their wife, or talk to their best friend, if they are equipped with the right information where they can show that to them as good as you just did, guess what? They will participate. But if they can't do what you just did, guess what? It does not duplicate. See, I want you to understand the ideas that make this work are extremely different than whatever other business you've been part of. The duplication is the most important aspect of this, and I've been blessed to have tens of thousands of people that are part of my team. And it was because I was just too dumb to make this hard, all right? You got to understand that duplication is what makes it go, and the way you duplicate is you keep it extremely simple. So number 1, I want you to write down simple, and if you want to put /duplication, that's the key to the very beginning, and whatever you do is going to duplicate. All right, so that's why this DVD is absolutely amazing. So, if you want to put something else on what you're writing down on a piece of paper right now, I'd write DVD. I would use nothing else. All right? When I do a presentation to a group, one-on-one, I always push play. I don't ever do what I'm doing here where you're seeing me do this. All right? Because I understand that if they can do what I just did, then it can go very, very quickly. All right? I was at a presentation not very long ago, and there's this person that comes up and introduces me to their friend. And their friend had just gotten started with the business, been in about 48 hours. And I said, so have you got a chance to, share this information? And she said, yeah, I actually have. I said, fantastic. She said, yeah, I showed my sister, and I showed my mom, and I showed my friend, and all I did is push play, and they got started. And my friend even has showed somebody else, and they've gotten started, and so on. And it had been 48 hours, and they already had 5 people, all right, that were part of their team, with virtually nobody helping them because they had the right tool, the DVD. Number 1, duplication. Simple, all right? Number 2 is, everyone that watched this presentation, I know what you were thinking. If you wanted to make money with this idea, your first objective and your first goal was simply, how do I get 4? Because you want 4 sales made so you can eliminate your monthly fees. I want you to understand this is a magical building block of your entire team. You can build tens of thousands of people if you understand what I'm getting ready to share with you right now. This is all your whole focus. If somebody wants to start, I simply ask them a question. I said, are you interested in getting your 4? And they say, yes, I'm interested in getting my 4. I said, do you have any idea what it takes to get your 4? They said, I have no idea. I suppose we got to talk to some people. Yes, you got to talk to some people. Here's what I want to share with you. This is the basic game plan. I don't want them focused on anything else. I don't want you focused on anything else if you're brand new looking at this, is I want you to get in front of your 5 to 10 best people that you have. And you're going to take that DVD and you're going to sit down and you're going to play it for them. And you're going to find out if they like the information or don't like it. But I know if you show it with 10 people, you're going to make probably 4 sales. Now, is that a guarantee? Absolutely not. You might do it with 5. You might do it with 4. But I know if you get in front of your best 5 to 10, you're going to probably end up with your 4 sales. You might end up with 6 sales. All right, and the way our compensation plan works, if you end up with 6 sales that you personally do in your first 30 days, you're going to make about $570. All right, now you've got all your money back that you put in to start with, all right, and you're not paying any fees if you end up with 6. So the second thing is, I want you to understand what your basic game plan is. When you turn this video off, there's only one thing you're focused on, is I got to get in front of my best 5 to 10, and you need to do that in the next week to 10 days. And if you'll do that, you'll eliminate your fees, all right? You'll have a great start on making that happen. Now, the third thing is simply this. Number 3 is our training. Now, we do all kinds of different training events, all right? I don't know where you're watching this at. You might be in a room where there's a presentation that just happened, all right? And they're probably, you know, that's kind of a small training event. You get to meet a few other people. But the training events I'm talking about are simply this. We have what's called RTEs, or regional training events. They happen all over the United States, all right? We do probably somewhere between 15 and 25 of these a month. In different cities that you can go to learn everything you need. The basic stuff you need to know. We also do events, and those events are great bigger events. We do about 4 of these a year, all right? And these are 3-4 day kind of events that take place. You're going to want to find out when the next one of those is, all right? But here's what I figured out. This is the point I want you to understand about the training. The training is very simple. It allows you to multiply your efforts and duplicate very fast. See, I got people started, and I plugged them in over here, and I found them. And then I knew I wasn't smart enough to get them motivated to do everything that there was that I needed to do. And so I simply took those people and I plugged them over here into the training event. And what took place was they come to the training event and they go, wow, I can do this way better than you can. And I said, I bet you can too. And they take off and they'd go do that. Now, do you think I was upset about that? No, absolutely not, because now all of a sudden is I could multiply. See, if I'm doing all the work, I can only do addition. But what I found out is if I put them into the training events, that I could multiply. And I could multiply really, really fast. And I didn't do very good in math. I was terrible in math. But I did understand that multiplication was better than addition. And I want to share that with you, that if you want to multiply, then you need to plug into the training stuff. And then I would get as many people as you have on your team to the training events. And guess what happens? It's going to multiply. In fact, our company keeps a statistic. And it shows that we got a 5 times factor of the people that go to the training events. They actually produce 5 times more than the people that don't. Now, the last thing I want to tell you is going to be a real painful one for you. The fourth thing is you need to go on a trip. All right? All right? And, you know, when I first saw this information, I had no money to go on a trip. I knew I wanted to go on a trip. I know you want to go on a trip. But I'll just tell you right now, if you go on a trip, go on one of our dream trips, I will tell you that you're absolutely going to be excited when you come back, because you can't believe how great it was. It'll be better than you anticipated that it was. And that belief in our product and our company is also going to fuel your business faster and faster and faster. Now, the last couple things I want to cover very quickly is I know some of you are saying, well, how do I invite somebody? And what do I say when I push play on the DVD? Because I talked about the 4 points, but I want to fill these 2 spaces in. The first thing I want you to think about, inviting somebody to this is no different than a basic conversation that you have all the time. And that's simply this. If I was calling, if you were going to call me for a cup of coffee, what would you say? You just think about it in your mind right now for a second. You'd call up and just say, hey, Byron, do you want to go to a cup of coffee? I'd say, sure, sounds great. If you can do that, you can push play on the DVD, because all you're going to simply say in addition to that is invite them to a cup of coffee and say, listen, I got a couple ideas I want to bounce off of you. See, what I found by meeting with people one-on-one, or maybe taking the person that helped you get started along with you, if on a 2-on-1, you can move very, very quickly, because all the people you know, they've already had coffee with you, all right? Or you could go to their house, or you could do whatever, but I wouldn't make it complicated. The simpler you can make it, because, see, they could do what you just did. They could invite their friend to coffee, all right? It's not some big fancy thing. They're going to come and sit down, and when they sit down, here's what you're going to say. And I'm going to tell you what I was concerned about. See, I was concerned that this idea looked so amazing to me that my very best friends that I had, if I didn't talk to them, number one, somebody else might. But more importantly, that 6 months down the road, if I was making a bunch of money and they found out that I didn't talk to them, we'd been friends for a long time, they weren't going to be very pleased with me. And so when I sit down with somebody, this is simply what I'd say. See, you got to understand, this is about show and tell. It's not show and convince. We got an amazing idea. Most people look at it are extremely intrigued. I know if you're out there and you've seen it for the first time tonight, or first time you ever looked at it, you're extremely intrigued. And this is what I'd simply set it up with. They sit down. I said, listen, say my friend's name is Bill. I'd say, Bill, listen, I got some ideas I want to bounce off of you here. I have no idea whether you're going to like them or not like them. It really doesn't matter to me. The most important thing here is I wanted to make sure that I got this information in front of you, and why I wanted you to see it is 6 months from now, I didn't want you to find out from somebody else that I was making a killing, developing a business that was just absolutely rocking, and I didn't call you because we've been close friends. And so I'm gonna let you look at something, and I think you're gonna be intrigued like me. And if you like the idea, that's fantastic. If you don't, it's no big deal. I just wanted to make sure you knew about it because I'm getting ready to talk to a whole bunch of people about this, because this is one of the simplest, easiest ideas I've looked at. Boom, I push the button. I let the presentation play. The presentation is over. When it's over, I say, Bill, looks intriguing, doesn't it? And I just shut up. And he's gonna go, huh, yeah. He's going to know, are those trips real? Are you doing this? He's going to ask some questions. You answer those questions, all right? And most importantly, what you want him to know is you're giving him a shot right now to be a participant, and there's some advantages to him knowing before I talk to everybody else. And that's all that I want to communicate to him. If he likes it, great. If he doesn't like it, no big deal, because I'm getting ready to blow the doors off this thing, because I know I've got the tool with that DVD that I can just pass it out, all right? I can get it out to somebody. It's like a chocolate chip cookie. All right? Some of them like chocolate chips, some of them don't like chocolate chips, and the ones that do, fantastic. The ones that don't, no big deal. I give my chocolate chip to somebody else. And ideally, I'm going to play the chocolate chip cookie while I'm sitting with them. Now, you could pass it out and get it back. It doesn't work as good that way, but it is successful that way. Your highest level of success is you meeting with your friend over a cup of coffee or at their house and just simply play the presentation for him and his wife. All right, let them watch it, set it up the way I just talked, and all of a sudden, if you'll do that with your 5 to 10 best, whether you got your buddy that shared this with you along with you or not, doesn't make any difference, because they're getting started because you're part of it. And all of a sudden, you can start thinking about trips that you're going on and they can go on, and you guys can have all kinds of fun together. We got an amazing idea. If you don't make this hard, it can grow very fast for you. If you make this hard, it will not duplicate, and you're going to have lots of pain, and it's not going to be much fun. This can be lots of fun for you. It can change your life. It did mine at a level that I can't even explain on how different my life is. I hope you come join us. Thanks a lot for spending time with me.